I learned from watching fights, like, and this is important, is that when I watch fights at home, when I just watch them, I don't sometimes know who really won because I'm not totally paying attention. Maybe I get a text message from my friend. Maybe I'm talking to my kid. Maybe the dog comes in the room. Like, maybe I don't know. Like, when you watch fights with a group of friends and you're all laughing and talking shit, you barely know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Which leads me to your last fight. Because after that fight, there was a bunch of people that were saying that was a bad decision. Piotr Jan should have got it. And I remember being in my green room. I just did a show in London, and we're eating steaks, and we're all talking. We're watching the fight. I'm like, did you think he won? Like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm going to have to watch that one again. I'm like, it looked like Piotr took him down a bunch. So there's a perception, and I think some of that perception comes from takedowns.
Yeah. And
so then I go back, and I just watch it. I just watched the fight with no one in the room but me, and when I was at the gym. And I was like, no, that's not a bad decision. You know, there was one round to you in the beginning, second round to Jan, third round to you. If you look at damage done, you look at overall strikes and impact, you landed more. He definitely took you down.
Yeah.
But how much was done with that? That's the thing. It's like, what does that count for? Like, I know there's a sort of subjective element to how that gets regarded and what's good and what's bad, but that was not a bad decision. It was a very fucking close fight, a very good fight. But I felt like for you that was going to be that fight where we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see how you hang with the cream of the crop because that guy's the best.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. All the people that were saying, not all, a lot of the people that were saying it was a robbery were the same people going into that fight saying I was going to get smoked. So they fucking hated the fact that it was even close. So, but yeah, I rewatched the fight a bunch. First round, I feel like, was the round that was controversial. Some people were saying it should have been 30-27 Jan, and those guys are just fucking the haters.
Those guys are hot.
Because the third round was clearly mine. I cut him bad and hurt him. The second round, he won, but I did drop him. Technically, I dropped him. He cracked me, didn't drop me, but he did more damage on the second round. The first round was the one that was the most like up in the air. And when he took me down, I was throwing up omoplatas, triangles, arm bars. They weren't necessarily close. They weren't close to submitting him, but he was having to react. He was having to do the defenses to where he wasn't able to strike me, which led me to being able to get up. So, and then when I did get up, I was clearly landing the better shots. But yeah, a lot of people, they just hated the fact that I skipped the entire top 10, went to the top dog, and I got to answer a lot of there was questions about cardio. Can I even grapple? Because I hadn't really grappled yet in the UFC. Do I have that dog in me? Do I have heart? Which I felt like I showed that when I broke my foot in the Andre Soccermom fight 5 years ago. I was fighting with one foot, and people don't remember those moments. But yeah, I feel like I got to show a lot in that fight.
Yeah, you definitely did. Yeah, but fuck all those people.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't. Like we talk about it. Like I talk about it on the podcasts and stuff. I do talk about it because it's it's being talked about.
Well, you're a flamboyant personality and you talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So when people talk a lot of shit, it gets a lot of people to pay attention to them, which is great. But it also gets a bunch of haters hoping that you get beat up.
That's Floyd's whole way of he made money his whole career. Conor, everyone fucking wanted to see him lose. Eventually I'm going to be making them pay-per-view points, and if people are going to buy to pay me or pay to see me get knocked out,
Floyd's the great master at it. Floyd went from being like a really exciting pressure fighter and he had a bunch of hand problems to like Money Mayweather, start talking shit, just boxing people's faces off. No more hand problems, much more money.
Yeah, I love what he's doing too, beating up these YouTube guys.
It's crazy.
I love it.
It's so funny that these guys are willing to get beat up by him.
Well, I think they're all delusional.
They really think they have a chance.
Most of them, they really think. They're like, I could land it. I could land the shot.
Isn't that hilarious?
If you're not it's fucking weird. I love what he's doing though. I didn't watch his last one. I watched the one with Logan. Was the only one I really watched.
The Logan one was insane.
I bet Floyd was in there like, what the fuck? I didn't realize this motherfucker was that big.
He's so
big guy.
He's so big.
And athletic.
Very athletic. And when he was like swinging wild at Floyd, I was like, if one of these gets through, that's a big old Viking fella.
Yeah, that was I was sitting on the edge of my seat. That was probably, I like Jake's fights too. I'll watch those, but It's pretty much the only boxing I watch, like Logan or Jake's fighting, or
He dropped Anderson Silva.
I was front row for that.
He dropped Anderson Silva.
It was
no matter what anybody says.
Yeah.
Jake Paul dropped Anderson Silva. You got to
Yeah.
stop with all this. He's just a YouTuber.
Yeah.
He had a boxing match with Anderson Silva. He won a unanimous decision, and he dropped him.
Yeah, it was
Conversation's
entertaining.
over.
It was fucking entertaining.
Very entertaining.
Too.
It was a good fight.
Great boxing match.
I submit, and I have before, that if that guy wasn't Jake Paul from YouTube, and he was just an up-and-coming, undefeated boxer who's been knocking out MMA fighters, you would go, wow, this kid is fucking awesome. You would say, look at this up-and-coming boxer who's tricked these MMA guys into boxing with him, and he's knocking them all out. Knocked out Ben Askren, knocked out Tyron Woodley with one punch.
That was gross.
Anybody that doesn't think he's legit after that, you're delusional. You're delusional.
Yeah.
But he's doing it too. He's getting people to hate him.
Yeah, so I'm so curious. And I'm glad they're doing it. I fucking love it. I'm so curious what's next for Jake Paul. I love to wait for the anticipation. I know the Nate Diaz thing's kind of looming there, but
Imagine if he wins a world title. Like, what if he does this for 5 or 6 more years and wins a world title?
if he keeps, he's improving, clearly improving fast too. From that last fight to the Anderson Silva fight, improved a lot.
Yeah.
He went through a full fight camp. He's supposed to fight that Top Ramen Jr., fucking whatever the guy's name was. He was supposed to fight him, going through fight camps.
Top Ramen Jr.?
I don't remember his name. It's fucking Top Ramen, something like that.
Rahman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rahman.
Hasim Rahman's son.
I don't know where I
Yeah.
got Top Ramen from, but fuck. He improved a lot from going into that fight camp. Supposed to fight that guy, didn't. But you could tell, dude's in the gym. He's training.
Yeah.
He's doing big things. So yeah, I'm excited to see him. See him what's next for him.
Yeah. It's interesting because he's kind of sort of taken over the sport of boxing in a way. Like, he gets as much attention and as much press as any of these like Ryan Davis just signed on to fight Gervonta Davis just signed on to fight Ryan Garcia.
That is official.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
That's
pretty-
happening in February. That's a big fight.
I'll tune into that one.
But like, how come we didn't get Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford? Why didn't we get that fight?
Yeah.
Like, that was supposed to happen. That was in negotiation. Like, with boxing, there's like certain fights that just don't get made, and it's so frustrating.
Is it different organizations owning those different fighters and shit?
I guess it's probably a factor. Different promoters, it's probably a factor, but it's also like, I think fighters probably want the best deal for themselves, and they're holding out negotiations, and who fucking knows? But it's just like, that was one where I was like, damn, like, how did we not get that fight? That was a great fight.
Yeah, I don't.
That's a who knows who wins fight. Those are the ones you want.